everyone, welcome to episode 29 of Otome Shimai.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Vika.
And we are sisters who play otome games. Hey Vika.
Yes.
Do you remember what I got you for Christmas?
What did you get me for Christmas?
No, I'm asking if you remember what I got you for Christmas.
Yeah? Oh, yes, I do. Do you want to tell the lovely people what I received as a Christmas gift that has to do with otome?
Well, I mean, I was trying to use this segue to get you to say what you got me for Christmas.
A squatty potty?
Yes.
That's not related to otome.
No, but it's a fun segue into what we're talking about today.
Is it?
No, it has nothing to do with our episode whatsoever. I just wanted the nice people to know that my beloved older sister got me a squatty potty for Christmas.
Yes, I think we've been sidetracked.
We have been sidetracked. Oh my gosh!
Now this is the perfect segue into what we're doing today.
Today, we're talking about sidetracked by side characters.
Part 3!
Part 3!
Isn't it great that we've done 3 of these already? I'm so excited.
We have a lot more side characters to talk about, so we can keep going, and it's great and it's wonderful, but I am glad that we decided to limit it to like 5 or 6 per episode, because I remember the first time we did this, I think we tried to talk about like 8 or 9, and it didn't work very well.
So many things we wanted to talk about. Well, this week we have 5 characters for you.
Yeah.
And we are going to be going through all of the characters, and then at the end, Vicky has some very fun questions for us.
Questions.
As per usual.
I love making questions.
But first, who are you doing this week?
Elliot March.
Ooh, Spade no Kuni no Alice.
Yeah, from Alice in the Country of Spades. I'm doing the Bun Bun.
Oh yeah, this Bun Bun, who doesn't know he's a Bun Bun.
No.
But he loves carrots anyway.
Well, he doesn't like raw carrots.
That's right.
He likes
carrot cake.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah, carrot food. Yeah. Elliot March is the March Hare, and he is a rabbit. He's an orange rabbit, and he's a himbo. And in video games, I love himbos.
They're so cute.
I know. I do not like himbos in real life.
True.
But in video games, they're wonderful, and Elliot March is a wonderful himbo. He's not always the brightest, but he is this big, burly mafia man who just gets so excited about things, and he thinks he's a dog.
That's right. He's a big mafia rabbit who thinks he's a dog.
It's great. This game's so great. Oh my gosh.
Is so weird.
I cannot tell you guys enough about how much I love the Alice series, because it's just so completely insane and it's so fun, and I do. Elliot is one of my favorite characters, so I'm so excited to be going through his route.
Yes. Who did you do? You did last week. You did the unicorn guy.
Yeah. Quinn Silver.
And he was not as exciting as the March Hare.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's a new character, so I didn't really know what to expect going in, and he's like... He's not my favorite LI ever, but he's also not someone who I, like, horribly dislike. But I'm really excited about Elliot.
Well, I can't wait to see more screenshots.
Oh, you'll get all of them. What about you? Who are you doing this week?
Well, again, I'm not doing much of anything because I have been playing Tears of Themis and Obey Me obsessively.
I mean, those are 2 things that you are doing.
Yes, but I'm not going through anyone's route. I was hoping to start a new game and do the prologue. I won't tell you which yet until I actually start it. But I've been really preoccupied with mobile games.
Nothing wrong with that, my dear.
I love Luke from Tears of Themis, so I'm trying to upgrade all of his cards and get all of his stories. And for Obey Me, I'm like really trying to catch up to get to meet the new characters, which I haven't met yet. So I'm way behind.
That's going to take a while.
I know, it is going to take a while, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, you are. I'm proud of you. You're trying to get caught up.
Thank you. I am trying to get caught up. I'm doing my best.
Okay, so on to today's main topic. We are going to be talking about the side characters in otome games who you cannot romance, but sometimes you want to. Sometimes we talk about side characters that we're, like, not really a fan of, but they mean a lot to the plot, and sometimes we talk about side characters that we absolutely love. And this time, I think we're talking about a lot of characters that we really like.
Yes. I would like to start with Bustafellows.
Okay. I know you have strong opinions about this first character.
Okay, so I said last week that I had completely finished Bustafellows, went through the entire game, and there are two characters, well, actually more than two to be honest, but these are the two that really stood out to me, were Valerie and Luca. So Valerie Fitzgerald is Limbo's older sister, and she's also a lawyer. She's super badass. She's got opinions. She's always yelling at her brother, and I feel like she's like me in the way that I'm always yelling at you.
You don't always yell at me.
But I'm definitely grumpy, and I definitely give you a piece of my mind when I have things to say.
You do boss me around a lot.
Yes, and she bosses Limbo around a lot. Also, she's super hot. So hot.
Valerie is very attractive. I've seen that slit on her skirt. It goes up quite high and makes me wonder if it is proper courtroom attire. But, Valerie, you do you.
You do you. She's a great lawyer. She's really impressive.
Isn't she an ADA?
Oh, that's right. She is.
She's the assistant
because she works for
attorney.
the district attorney. I really dig her. First, I saw her and I was like, I don't even know who this character is, and she's super hot, and I'm not sure if I want to look like her or if I want to date her. Maybe both. I'm not sure. But in playing through the story, like, she really cares about her brother, like her brother's well-being, and I think she's a little bit tough on him. Sort of similarly in the way that I'm kind of tough and, like, overly concerned about you as well. Like, I always have my own thing going on, but, like, I always go back and I think about, like, oh, is Vicky going to be okay? Like, I worry for you. And I think through playing through the Bustafellows as well, Valerie does that for Limbo, especially in some of his endings.
I feel like you are more concerned about me than Valerie is about Limbo, though.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, when we talk about Bustafellows, we'll go more into this when we talk about Limbo's route. But yeah, I really like Valerie.
Yeah, I also like Valerie. I don't think I like her as much as you do, but she definitely did stand out to me when when I played Bustafellows.
Which was ages ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. But she is definitely an interesting character because she's a very high-powered woman, but they don't make the plot, like, centered around her. And I thought that was kind of interesting because whenever there's, like, a powerful woman in an Ultimate game, they tend to be either somewhat antagonistic.
Like a villain?
Yeah, kind of like a villain, or at least a villain for part of the story. Like, for example, Queen Victoria in Code Realize.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, I forget the mom's name in Diabolic Lovers. And Valerie's not like that.
Cordelia?
Cordelia. Yeah, Valerie is an important character to the story, and she pops in and out of a number of routes, and she's definitely kind of pokes at her brother, but she's also friends with Tuta, with the MC.
Yeah, she is. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, and they have, like, girl bonding time, and that's pretty rare for an Ultimate game, so I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I can't think of a lot of Ultimate games where a main character really gets to bond with the siblings. I know, I think I was reading through Twitter or Reddit, and there was a post about how, like, sibling relationships are pretty rare in Ultimate, and this is one of those things that I thought was really cool to see in Bustafellows.
Discord, I read that too.
Ah, okay.
Discord, because I commented about you.
Yeah. So, last question for Valerie. Would you want to date her?
Valerie's not really my type.
Oh, okay.
I think she's a little bit too overbearing in some ways, and you see in a lot of the scenes that she's definitely used to the finer things in life. Like, she takes Tuta to a really fancy restaurant, and, like, she really likes,
they go shopping,
cigars and fashion week, fancy clothes, expensive stuff. And you know me, I'm pretty... I like to be low-key. Like, getting dressed up and going to a fancy place is fine every once in a while, but I'm not into, like, super expensive things or fancy things. So I don't know if it would be a great match, per se. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
What about you?
Yeah, she's super hot.
You'd date her?
Yeah.
You'd do her?
Definitely.
Cool.
let's talk about another character from Bustafellows.
Luca DeAndre.
Yes, Luca. Tuta's bestie.
Yeah, so Luca and Tuta, the MC, are family friends. Their families are friends, so they have known each other for a really, really, really long time. Luca is close with Tuta's parents as well. Luca is a cop.
Yes,
she is a detective. She's known as like the ace of the detectives in her station.
In New Sieg.
Yeah, in New Sieg, and she is pretty badass.
Yes, she is pretty badass. I really, when I first played the game and like one of the intro scenes is a conversation between her and Tuta, I was like, oh, this character, I'm gonna really enjoy her because she's so blunt and obviously cares about her friend. Yeah, I really like her. I mean, there are times where she can be pretty overprotective of Tuta. Like the point where Tuta moves into the house with all the guys and Luca's like, are you sure this is a good idea? It's a whole bunch of men. What are you doing? But, yeah.
I mean, if one of us did that, I think the other one would be like,
totally
what
justified.
are you doing?
It's totally justified. And I think she's wonderful.
Yeah. She works a lot though.
She does.
She's definitely a bit of a workaholic. But I think that's because she likes her job and she's very, very focused on doing the right thing and very focused on justice. Without saying too much, sometimes that doesn't always align with her job. But you know, I think that's a really important trait to have. With a position like that as a detective.
Yeah. One thing I like about Luca as a character is that she fills that gap for me whenever I play an Ultimate game where the MC doesn't have any female friends. Like, Luca is the perfect female friend for Tuta. I mean, honestly, maybe a little bit more.
I was about to say that there are definitely some undertones there that make it seem like Luca may have feelings for Tuta that are more than just a friend. But we'll talk about that more in a later episode because Bustafellows is one of those games where there are a lot of undertones that are not queer baiting. And that's something that really stood out to me and that really made me happy because it just comes off as like, oh, this is kind of a natural thing. Queer people exist, but we don't have to talk about it because it's a normal thing.
Yeah. No, I really like that. This game, it was a great game.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about the game. We're here to talk about Luca. Anyways, I love Luca. I think that she's a wonderful character. She's a great friend for Tuta. She's super, super loyal. She's super dependable. And she's really also very badass, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also eats out too much.
That's true. She does eat out a lot. A lot of scenes I see with her and Tuta, they're eating chicken or they're at a bar.
They go to a Mexican restaurant a lot.
Mexican restaurant a lot. Like, they eat out a lot. And my guess is it's because she probably doesn't have time to cook at home.
Yeah.
Considering she's working.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. Let's see. If I were to answer the question, do I want to date this side character? I think I'd be besties with Luca for sure, but I think it'd be hard for me because she'd always be working.
Yeah. And see, I think I'd be more likely to date Luca than I would Valerie.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been that workaholic before at a previous position that I held, so I understand. And also, I think it would just be a lot of fun to hang out with her. I also really like her character design.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. She has freckles.
She does have freckles.
I love her.
Yeah, so I'd go on a few dates with her. I'd see how things go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Luca.
Yeah.
You're pretty great. You're a pretty great side character. Let's talk about some other side characters from other games. We've talked about Bustafellows. Let's talk about Cupid Parasite.
Cupid Parasite. So the side character from Cupid Parasite we're talking about today is Owen Heriotto. And I don't know how to say his last name in English because I played the game in Japanese and I've only heard it in Japanese. I've never heard anyone say it in English. Harriet?
Harriet? But with an E.
Heriotto. Like Herriot. Harriet. Harriot?
Her Riot.
I don't think it's her riot.
Well, either way, his name is Owen. We know that, at the very least. Who is Owen? You're going to have to remind me.
Yeah, so Owen is one of the LI's executive/personal assistant. He's Shelby Snail's executive/personal assistant.
The man who has a
The man who doesn't have a wife.
No. I was going to say the man who has a chronic case of migraines.
Yes. Shelby Snail constantly has a headache. So he is the executive assistant to the president of the Cupid Corporation. And Cupid Corporation is who the MC Lynette Mirror works for. So you see Owen in every route.
Because she works at the company and he's always at the company?
Well, not just that. So Cupid Parasite, it's about trying to marry off these completely, undateable and unmarriable men. And there's a mystery character who Lynette has to find a match for called Mr. S. And that's actually Shelby Snail. And
that's not a spoiler?
That is not a spoiler.
Okay.
That is in his profile on the website.
Okay.
And it's also very, very obvious because instead of meeting Mr. S sends Owen to everything. So,
interesting.
You spend a lot of time with Owen in
so
all
that
of the routes.
you can set up Shelby Snail with someone?
Yeah, but Lynette doesn't know that Owen is doing this for Shelby Snail. She only knows that he's doing this for a high-powered client.
I see.
But because they use him as a replacement, he goes to all of these dating workshops for Mr. S, and he goes on practice dates for Mr. S and gets text messages from Mr. S.
So Owen gets a lot of screen time in this game.
Owen gets a lot of screen time for someone who isn't a love interest.
Yeah.
And he is very overworked, in case you couldn't tell from that description of what his job entails. But also, he's also a client of the Cupid Corporation. He's trying to look for someone to marry himself.
Aww.
And so he's being forced to do all of these things, despite the fact that he is also looking for love.
And that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's really cute because
is he dateable?
He is not dateable.
No, I mean, is his personality a dateable personality?
So, he's awkward.
Okay, awkward's not bad.
Yeah, he's shy, he's awkward, he doesn't really know how to talk to people, but he knows how to do his job well. But when it comes to, romance, he's but it's cute. It's really cute. And in a lot of the routes, you actually get to, set him up with someone.
Oh, that's so cute.
And it is. It's really sweet. And he's one of those side characters that you have to root for. But I'm also Owen, you deserve so much better. He deserves a raise. He deserves a vacation. Owen deserves all the love in the world. He gets put through so much crap.
Because of Shelby?
Not just because of Shelby. There's other stuff that would be spoilery for me to talk about.
But he's super overworked.
He is. He's so overworked.
Yeah,
I feel
it does
so
sound
bad for
he
him.
Needs a vacation.
Yeah. But Owen is super sweet. I really like Owen. And if we ever get a Cupid Parasite fan disc, I would hope we'd be able to spend a little bit more time with him. I doubt we'd be able to date him just because a decent amount of the plot does revolve around setting him up with someone else.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah, but yeah, Owen.
Cute.
He's so sweet.
Would you want to date Owen?
I don't know. I think he'd be he's sweet and he's down to earth, but I think I might scare him a little.
I see. He might be a little intimidated by your womanly prowess.
No. But with my what now? Would you want to date him?
I don't know. He sounds like a nice guy.
Okay, then you can date
I guess
him.
if I saw his Cupid Corp or his Cupid website, whatever you call it, profile, I might swipe right or whichever way is the right way. I'm sorry, I'm too old for internet dating.
You've never done that.
No, I met my husband before that was a thing.
You met your husband many, many, many years ago. I am the only one of us that ever ended up venturing into the internet dating world.
Yes.
It worked, though.
Yes. Oh, yes, it did. Successfully, too.
Success!
Okay, so we had Owen Harriet, who is Shelby Snail's executive assistant. We have another character who works very closely with an LI. And that is Oliver Haas from Piofiore Faded Memories.
Oh my god, Oliver. I love Oliver so much.
Yes, I also love Oliver so much.
Oliver is amazing.
Oliver is Gil, one of the allies, his consigliere, which basically in Oliver's case is he's the lawyer. So he's the guy that makes sure that the Visconti family stays legit in terms of Italian legal affairs. And this man is basically the go-to do-everything guy for the Visconti family because Gil is just, like, does whatever he wants and leaves all the hard work to Oliver. And I feel so bad for him, but I love him very much.
Yeah, Oliver is another character that kind of has a constant headache because of his boss.
That's right. He's also overworked and probably needs a vacation.
Yeah, but it's super sweet. Like, in 1926, you actually get the story of how Gil and Oliver started working together. And
so Gil's from America.
Yeah,
and
Gil is from America.
He's part Italian, but Oliver's German.
Yeah, Oliver is German. So, Gil and his mom moved back to Italy when Gil was a kid. And then when Gil, decided that he wanted to take over the Visconti family when he was quite young, he basically, looked up the best lawyer in Europe and then stalked him.
That's a great way to hire your consigliere.
Yeah, so he bugged Oliver, and Oliver was like, what the heck is this kid? Like Gil was 18, 19 years old and being like, hey, I'm going to be the boss of the Visconti family and I want you to be my lawyer. And Oliver was like, what?
Who is this kid? That's really funny. That's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's a cute, meet cute for him and Gil.
Stalking someone is a meet cute?
I mean, he seems like he really likes Gil, though.
He does.
They have a good relationship. And when I was playing through Faded Memories, I, really like spending... we know, I've said this before, we love spending time at the Visconti house.
Yeah. A lot of it is because of Gil.
It's because of Gil, but also because of Oliver. You spend a lot of time with Oliver, too, when Gil's not around. So, yeah.
And Oliver's kind of like the mom.
He is, yeah, and he backs Lily up a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He definitely is keeping an eye out just to make sure that, Gil does right by her.
Yeah, and it's really sweet because Oliver also, recognizes that Lily is intelligent.
Yes, he does. No, he involves her in conversations.
Yeah, he does.
Purposefully. He doesn't leave her anything out. Sometimes he goes behind Gil's back to tell her things that Gil doesn't want her to know because obviously Oliver knows better.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I mean, the Visconti family is great to be in because they will talk to Lily. They don't really hide very much from her. They keep her in the loop. They involve her in conversations. They know that, what's going on has to do with her, and so it's important for her to make informed decisions.
Yeah.
And they need to have her opinion in order for them to make informed decisions. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
We love that house. We want to live there.
Yes.
Anyways, Oliver loves potatoes.
Is that a segue into something, or are you just telling me he loves potatoes?
I'm just telling you that he loves potatoes.
I mean, you're a potato.
I am a potato, but in the game, Oliver loves potatoes.
How do you know that?
Because it's mentioned a number of times.
Really?
It's mentioned a couple of times in the first game. But they definitely make a point of it in the second game. That Oliver thinks that every meal should have potatoes in it.
That's so funny. Potatoes aren't necessarily the most exciting thing on the plate.
It's because he's German.
I suppose that makes sense.
It needs potatoes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think, let's see. Oliver's got this kind of... He doesn't have a very cool vibe in terms of personality. He is more like a potato. Just average, chill.
Me?
Yeah, like you. He's a smart guy. You're a smart girl.
So Oliver and I are potatoes.
You're both potatoes together.
Yeah. So would you date Oliver?
Ooh, I don't know. He's not... So in terms of his character design, he's not really my style. I don't really go for the mega neg, the glasses guys. But seeing him in action in the courtroom was pretty cool. That was pretty impressive.
He's a badass lawyer.
He's a really good lawyer. So I feel like if I had, maybe not necessarily him as a partner or someone that I'm dating, but him as a friend on my side, that would be pretty great. He seems to really respect women. Mm-hmm. He also is very intelligent and powerful. So what could be bad about that?
Yeah.
Also, since he's the consigliere, he also doesn't get much blood on his hands. So I would feel less uncomfortable dating him because he's not a murderer. What about you?
I don't know about dating, but I'd marry him.
Wow. Wow.
He seems like he'd be a good husband.
You went from 0 to 100 very quickly.
Well, think about it. He has a steady job. He makes a good amount of money. Like, you're right. He does keep his hands clean in terms of, like, the bloody bits.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has to. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, he's busy, but I also feel like he would, like, be able to make it home in time for dinner most of the nights. There's no way in hell he'd have an affair. I mean, he's too straight-laced for that.
Yeah. Okay, so there are 2 marryable men in the Visconti house.
Yes, definitely.
That's pretty impressive.
One for you, one for me.
Wait, hey. Okay, yeah, sure, I'll take Gil. Easily. I don't mind when they get their hands dirty.
Oh my gosh.
Are you going to tell me that's not this type of podcast again?
No. I've said that enough. I'll let you go on a tangent and see how far you'll take it without me saying anything.
Well, I'm not going to take it that far because we do need to get to the next character.
That's true, and there's definitely going to be no dirty comments about this next character.
No. So this character is from the game whose name I can never remember, but it's an oldie but goodie.
Code Realize.
Code Realize. This is Delacroix II, or Dracula Delacroix II, or Deli in English, or Dora-chan in Japanese. He's got many names. He's adorable.
Congratulations. What is he? Who is he?
Deli? Well, I'm going to call him Deli because I played the game in English, so when I read it, it says Deli, and I'm happy. But they say Dora-chan in English. I mean, in Japanese. So basically, Deli is a vampire whose sole mission in life is to take revenge on Van Helsing. But instead of taking revenge, he becomes a beloved member of Saint Germain's household and basically becomes best friends with everyone in the house, including Cece the steampunk corgi. Yeah, and that's Deli. That's his story.
He's really cute. Like, he is a small child.
Yes, he's like 12.
But is he actually 12?
I think he's quite young, yes.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how it works in terms of vampire time, but because Van Helsing is human,
yes,
he knew him as a child, and, you know, human years don't pass that quickly, so, yeah, I think he's still quite young.
He's still baby.
Yeah.
Deli is baby.
Deli is baby.
It's really cute because, like, after you go through the whole, like, absorbing Deli into the household, he basically just, like, hangs out around the house with the corgi.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, he's kept out of danger. I mean, sometimes he joins them on missions and stuff, which I find really cute.
Stuff.
Yeah, and he's a pretty powerful vampire. Like, he's like, knows his swordsmanship. He can do stuff. But I think he becomes best friends with Cardia and the dog, and I think that's just so cute. Like, it's one side character that you don't see that often. Like, no, he's not romanceable, obviously, because he's a 12-year-old child, but, like, it's nice to have, just like Cece. Like, it's a really cute part of the story where she interacts with them, and they're just friends.
Deli and Cece are on the same level.
Deli and Cece are on the same level. I think Cece the steampunk corgi and Deli the 12-year-old vampire are equal in terms of lovability.
You know, it's really funny because when we were figuring out what characters we were going to talk about, Vika was like, Cece? We should talk about Cece. Let's talk about Cece. And I was like, we're going to talk about a corgi?
Hey, Cece's great too.
Cece is great. Steampunk corgi butts.
Steampunk corgi butts, that's great. But I did want to talk about Deli because he is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. I know you think he's adorable. When we were watching the anime, every time he came on screen, you were like, Deli!
I love Deli. He's so cute. I really like that he just becomes a member of their family. His background story, and I'm not going to say too much because it's probably a little spoilery, although this is an older game. He, is alone. He's living by himself when he meets up with Van Helsing, and he's really upset with Van Helsing for reasons. But, like, he joins the family, and he becomes a member of the family, and I think that's wonderful for him and for Cardia.
Yeah, it's cute. Well, I also like how Cardia basically ends up, like, adopting everyone, or is it Saint Germain who ends up adopting everyone? I don't know.
Saint Germain is the benefactor. He's basically their glorified landlord.
But they don't pay rent.
That's true. They're terrible tenants.
Anyways, we don't even need the question, do you want to date this character? He was far too young for us.
Yes.
But he is adorable.
Yes, he's a great
cute.
Side character.
Yeah, we'd hang out with him. I'd have coffee with him and have a nice little chit chat.
Oh, I would totally bring Deli around and just go around town in London. That would be so... No. I think it would be fun. As long as he brought Cece.
We've never been to London.
We've never been to London.
That would be nice someday. I don't think present-day London is going to be as steampunk as it is in this game.
No. I don't see many building-sized cogs in the city. I'm just remembering the background from the anime where it was buildings, but also, like, gears and shit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Anyways,
so let's talk about a couple of your questions now that we've gone through all the characters. Okay, let's recap. We talked about 2 characters from Bedfellows, Valerie and Luca.
Yes.
We've talked about a character from Cupid Parasite, which is Owen. We've talked about a character from Piofiore, Oliver, and we've talked about Deli from Code Realize.
Yes.
So those are the 5 that we're going to consider as we think through these questions.
That is correct. So, I came up with 3 questions for us to go through.
Okay, here we go.
Question 1. What would it look like if all of these characters attended a speed dating event?
Wait a minute. So, is the speed dating event where they're, like, dating other people or they're dating each other?
They're dating each other.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, Cece and Deli can't go. They're below the age limit for speed dating.
Well, what if Deli snuck in order to steal people's crap?
I mean, that would be a very exciting speed dating event. Probably not for the people who are there, but for Deli for sure. Especially if they had really expensive goodies.
To have this little vampire child running around stealing their stuff.
Well, okay, so let's leave Deli out and do the other 4. So Valerie, Luca, Owen, and Oliver. So if you do it, what's the traditional way of speed dating where the women sit and then the men move around?
Yeah. So the women sit and the men move around. So I'm just going to come out and say it. Valerie would eat everyone.
What do you mean by eat?
I mean, like, she would probably...
Scare the heck out of him?
Well, not scare the heck out of him, but, like, if she, like, saw someone and, like, wasn't interested in them, she'd just be like, next. And if she saw someone and was interested in them, she'd be like, okay, yeah, you, me, we're going.
Don't you think her and Oliver could have a good dynamic, though? They're both lawyers.
They are both lawyers. I think they'd have a lot to talk about, but I also think that Oliver would probably feel a little bit overwhelmed.
She's a lot.
She is a lot. And you know who else is a lot in his life?
Who?
Gil.
But he loves Gil.
He does love Gil, but I also know that he feels quite overwhelmed.
Okay, well, I think that could be a good conversation to watch, Valerie and Oliver. I'd feel real bad for Owen.
Oh.
He would he wouldn't stand a chance.
Well, I mean, we do see Owen at speed dating events in the game.
Oh, okay. And what's he like?
Awkward. He doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't really know how to, like, dress himself to present himself in his, like, best self.
Yeah.
How many times can I say self? But I do think he'd be awkward. But I also think that Luca would feel pretty awkward. I don't think she'd want to be there.
No, I don't think so either.
So maybe she and Owen can, like, go and just, like, chill in the corner and, like, not talk.
Or have a cerveza.
Yeah.
Have a beer.
Have a beer.
I agree. I think Luca would not be up for the speed dating. Owen only does it because he's forced to.
Well, he's looking for love, but he doesn't really understand how. Like, he's shy. He's really shy.
He's really shy. Okay. Well, I think, let's see. What if you paired Valerie and Luca together?
You know, they get along.
Yeah. That could work really well.
Yeah, like they know each other in the game, and they're not like bosom buddies, but they can talk. They get along. Like, they go to Fashion Week, although Luca gets kind of dragged along to Fashion Week.
Yeah, Luca also doesn't want to be there either.
Yeah.
What about Owen and Oliver?
Owen and Oliver, I think...
Because don't you think Oliver's a little bit like Shelby?
I think Oliver has a lot more common sense than Shelby does. And he's a lot less focused on appearances.
Yeah.
I think that Owen and Oliver would actually get along quite well. Because they're both overworked and they're both very smart and they're both kind of lower key.
They could complain about their bosses to each other.
They could complain about their bosses to each other, except Owen doesn't really complain about Shelby. Yeah.
It's a shame.
Oliver definitely complains about Gil, though.
Yeah, to Gil sometimes.
Yeah, he'll be like, why are you doing this to me? And Gil will be like, I appreciate you so much.
Okay, I'll say that could be a fun speed dating event to watch, I think.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
The next question is, who would have the hardest time making a Beef Wellington? And who would have the easiest time making a Beef Wellington?
Okay, I feel like you're the only one who can answer this because you're the one who makes Beef Wellington every Christmas.
So, making Beef Wellington, just if you guys have never seen how to make Beef Wellington before, is extremely time intensive. Don't trust the recipes out there that says that it takes 3 hours, because it takes far longer than 3 hours unless you're like a professional chef. You have to take a big, like, log of beef, and you have to brown the beef, and then you have to brush the beef with mustard, and you have to let the beef rest. And so that takes a long time, and you have to know how to, like, brown the outside correctly. You have to, like, make sure that it doesn't burn, although it always has to smoke a little bit. And then you have to get, like, the right amount of mustard on. You have to make sure it doesn't fall apart because it's all tied together. And then you have to cook down minced mushrooms, and I also use shallots. And that takes a really, 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 really long time because there's a lot of butter involved. You have to get the moisture out of all of the mushrooms. You basically have to get it, like, to a paste. And then you have to, like, add other spices, and you have to deglaze with brandy and add cream and just get it to this nice paste.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
And then you have to let all of that cool, because then after that, what you have to do is you have to get saran wrap and, like, cling wrap, and you have to layer prosciutto on top of it, so that you have something to wrap the beef in.
Yeah.
But before you do that, on top of the prosciutto, you have to, like, smooth out the minced mushroom and shallot paste, and then you all wrap it up together and wrap it up really, really tight, and then all of that has to be refrigerated. And then after all of that happens, you have to wrap it in puff pastry, and you either can buy the puff pastry. Make sure that you use puff pastry that's made with real butter, though. It makes all the difference. Or you can make your own puff pastry, which takes another full day.
Okay.
And so you have to very carefully wrap that up and seal it all up. You have to, like, score it to seal it and use egg wash to seal it. And then you have to let that rest in the refrigerator and make sure that it's all together. And then you have to bring it out, put egg wash all over it, score it, sprinkle some coarse salt on it, and you have to bake it. And you have to, like, use a meat thermometer to make sure that the inside temperature gets to a very nice medium rare, because this is supposed to be medium rare. And then you have to let it sit. And then after that, you can eat it.
I see. Okay, everyone, we're now a cooking show. Next week. Next week on Otomeshimai. The recipe for, I don't know, pork chops? I don't know. I'm not a cook.
Well, you do like it when I make the filet mignon with my Parmesan cream sauce.
Okay, yes. Yes.
Anyways, that is how you make Beef Wellington. So, who would have the hardest time making Beef Wellington, and who would have the easiest time making Beef Wellington?
Okay, I'm gonna go out and say that either Valerie or Oliver would be pretty good at making Beef Wellington.
I agree with Oliver.
Why not Valerie? Valerie
Comes from an extremely rich family that 120% has chefs at home.
Yeah, I guess so, but Limbo knows how to cook. So why wouldn't Valerie know how to cook?
I don't know. I just don't get that sense from her. Like, she always goes out to, like, super fancy restaurants, and didn't, like, Limbo, like, Limbo also likes going out to fancy restaurants. Have we seen Limbo cook anything complicated? Like, he cooks something once.
Yeah, but he does know how to cook it. It's a family recipe.
Okay. So maybe Valerie knows how to do it. Or Valerie could have someone teach her how to do it.
Yes. I think if she learned how to do it, she'd be able to do it.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if Oliver already knew how to make Beef Wellington.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, Oliver is kind of the full package.
Yeah. I think if we had Luca and Owen and Deli all try to compete against each other in who makes the best Beef Wellington, we would end up with just like
an explosion
or a mess. Because I can guarantee you Luca doesn't really know her way around the kitchen.
Yeah.
And Deli is a vampire.
Deli's baby.
How often is he making anything, really?
Yeah. And Owen is not super handy. I mean, actually, Owen might know how to do this. Owen might know how to do this because he does, like, live alone. And so he should know how to cook, although he keeps very, very, very long hours. So I don't think he would have the time to cook Beef Wellington.
Yeah.
When I made Beef Wellington over Christmas, it took me basically 2 full days because I had to make more than one Beef Wellington because your husband and my boyfriend eat a lot.
It was really good Beef Wellington, guys.
Thank you.
It was so good. Oh, my goodness.
It was good. I ended up eating 6 pieces because I worked really hard for that. Not in one day. Over the course of a few days.
I had 2 pieces, and the 2 pieces that I had were bomb. So, Beef Wellington, I think Vicky does it the best.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And then Oliver would do the best, and then Valerie behind him, and then I don't
know. I think Owen behind
okay,
Valerie.
Sure. And then Deli and Luca, maybe
no,
Luca?
I don't think Deli and Luca would be able to do it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
They would be the worst.
It's not a beginner recipe. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember Luca cooking in the series at all. Really, she eats out a lot. So.
I remember her commenting about Tuta's cooking.
Well, Tuta can't cook.
No, Tuta cannot cook. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Oliver, Valerie, Owen, and then Luca and Deli probably just wouldn't do it.
Yes. All right, so what's our last question?
Okay, our last question. How would each of these characters react if they got to a hotel after driving for 8 hours straight, only to find that their reservation was lost?
Oh.
Let's start with Valerie.
Oh dear. Gosh, I'm thinking about how I would react.
No,
I'd probably cry.
You.
Oh,
not
sorry.
you.
Okay. Sorry. How would Valerie react? Valerie would go find another hotel, and then she'd sue the place.
I feel like she'd invoke her family name.
Yeah.
Like she comes from a really, like, rich and well-known family. I feel like she'd invoke her family name and the fact that she's an ADA.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I think Valerie would, like, she'd be pissed, but she would figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine her being like, don't you know who I am?
Yeah, I think so too. Anywhere in New Sieg, they should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd probably be fine. She'd figure it out. Luca?
Yeah. I think Luca would sleep in her car. I think Luca would be upset. I think Luca would be upset, and she'd be like, "Oh, damn it!" But I don't think she'd be mad at the people. I think she'd be like, "Oh, fine," and sleep in her car.
Wow, poor Luca.
Yeah,
I guess I could see that. How about Owen?
I think that Owen would have a backup plan. He's an executive assistant.
That's a good point.
So I think that Owen would have a backup plan, but if he didn't have a backup plan, I think he'd panic.
Do you think Oliver would also have a backup plan?
I think Oliver would have 3 backup plans, and so he wouldn't panic.
He would know exactly what to do in every case.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, okay, you lost my reservation? Well, I know these other 3 hotels that we can get a room at. So I think Oliver would be fine. I think Owen would have a backup plan, but if the backup plan fell through, he would panic and be like, oh my god, my backup plan fell through.
What do I do? Yep, that I agree. That makes sense to me.
Deli can't drive.
I don't think he's ever stayed in a hotel. Can vampires make reservations at hotels?
I'm sure they can. I mean, in Diabolic Lovers, they definitely make reservations at hotels.
But 12-year-old vampires? I don't even think a 12-year-old could make a reservation at a hotel to begin with.
Well, I mean, in Diabolic Lovers, they're 16-year-old vampires.
Okay, well, Diabolic Lovers has a lot of plot holes, and a lot of things don't make sense in that series.
This is true.
But then again, I guess Code Realize is similar, too. In terms of his reaction, I think he'd be pretty grumpy about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he'd be pretty mad and grumpy and upset. But I'm sure he'd figure it out.
He would figure it out. He'd figure it out. Well, plus, I mean, Deli was kind of like living on his own and living rough for a while, so I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like, he'd figure it out.
He would. I think it would be okay. Oh my gosh. These characters would do better than I would, I think, because I'd be so mad. I don't know what I would do.
Well, that's why whenever the two of us go out on trips and stuff, you know who does all the planning?
Yes.
Me.
Yes. Anyways, that was a segue. We really got sidetracked there.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Sidetracked by Side Characters.
Let us know who you think would be the best at making Beef Wellington on Twitter, because I now want to know.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I will make a Twitter post at 1 p.m. PST today, and when I say today, I mean the day that this episode comes out, and I'll pin it to the top of our profile. So please go ahead and comment there. Which one of these characters do you think would be the best at making Beef Wellington?
I'd really be surprised if most people don't say Oliver.
That's true.
If you like what you hear and would like to support us, we have a Buy Me a Coffee account where you can donate to us keeping the podcast going.
We also have Twitter and Instagram where you can stay updated on what we're up to and other Ultimate-related stuff.
Thanks for listening. Bye!